Hola, senors and senoras. I've been meaning to do this video for a while now, but this morning on the Facebooks, I got a little triggered. Okay, got a little bit of the trigs. I'm sick also, and I look gross, hence the beanie. Alright, start this video. Gender versus sex. This whole new gender thing isn't new. It's been a thing since people have been a thing. In the sense that we have created gender. Gender was never really a thing. Before modern civilization, the only thing that was prevalent was your sex, which means your genitals. Which means if you're a dude, you need a woman so that you can make a baby with them, so you can make more people. Anything other than that was irrelevant. Nobody gave a fuck. So, as society became a thing, we decided to say, oh, these things are female, these things are male. But before that time, it didn't matter. Like, for example, like, Egyptian pharaohs and shit would wear makeup to show that they had some kind of status, you know what I mean? They were in a position of power. In the 16th century, do you see what those motherfuckers were wearing? They were wearing frilly, dress-looking things, you know, they had curly hair, you know what I mean? They wore makeup, but it wasn't seen as feminine, it was seen as a power thing. And, even back in, like, I'm gonna say the 50s, it was a very popular thing to put your son in a dress, for baby pictures. Don't ask me why, I haven't looked it up, I have no fucking idea why. All I know is that, my great-grandma has a picture of one of her sons in a dress when he was a baby. But that wasn't weird for some reason. We're gonna get into all this, okay? We're gonna get into it. That was just the intro. This isn't a new thing. Transgender people weren't fucking created in 2015, you know what I mean? Like, Caitlyn Jenner wasn't the first transgender person, it's just being talked about more. Just like once upon a time, I'm sure the same thing was said about gay people. You know what I mean? People have been gay since the dawn of time. They've even shown there's studies where they can prove that some animals are gay. Either just cause or, you know, whatever, a biological reason. There was actually a lion. It was a female lion, but it looked like a male lion. It had a mane and everything, but it was female. Explain that to me. Explain that to me. They called it a transgender lion, but that's kind of ridiculous. A lion doesn't have a gender, it has a sex. Like I said, we created gender. Gender means nothing. Gender is pink means you're a girl, blue means you're a boy. You know what I mean? It's pointless. It's stupid. It's irrelevant. It's holding us back as people, and it's holding us back in fashion. Okay? It pisses me off. I want more men to wear dresses, and I want more women to wear suits, and that's a whole other topic, the fact that women wear men's clothing all the time. I'm wearing a t-shirt, and I'm actually wearing some boxers right now. I'm practically wearing all men's clothes, but I'm not considered a weirdo, you know what I mean? I'm not a cross-dresser, but if a man wears a dress, he's a fucking cross-dresser. Anyway, the first thing I'm going to get into is definitions. Right off the bat, we're doing definitions. So let me get on my phone, and read some definiciones to y'all motherfuckers. So these definitions have to do with sex. So here we go. Sex. Either of the two main categories, male and female, in which humans and many other living things are divided on the basis of their reproductive functions. Woo! That means dick or your vagina. That means biology. That's not gender. It's sex. Oh, the fuck get right. God, I sound like Tana Mongeau and I'm not okay with it. Now we're gonna move on to sexuality. A person's sexual orientation or preference. So, sexuality correlates to your sex somewhat. Because they've actually proven that you're born gay or straight or fucking whatever your sexuality is that you're born that way. It's a biological thing. It's a chemical thing. It has to do with the hormones that your hormones can smell. Essentially, that's the fucking stupidest way to explain it. I'm not gonna give the definition of straight because, duh, we all know what straight means. But I will give you the definition of gay, even though I'm pretty sure everyone knows what that means. Gay, a person, especially a man, that is homosexual, meaning they like other men. And the latter would be women, which I guess the technical term would be lesbian, which is a woman that's attracted to women. So, a lesbian is a woman who is attracted to female hormones. A man who is gay is attracted to other male hormones. Woo! Gender has nothing to do with it. It's biological shit. But if you, let's say you're a gay man and you're super, vain or whatever, or maybe you're just not into vaginas. Obviously some gay men aren't. Obviously most gay men aren't. That's why they're gay. You can still be attracted to, say, a trans male, which means they were born female, but maybe you wouldn't want to have sex with them until they had, or if they have, sexual reassignment surgery, which essentially means you take the vagina, bloop, turn it into a dick. There you go. A+. Bisexuality. Sexual attraction to both men and women. So like I said, that means, let's say, man who likes men's hormones and likes females' hormones, or pheromones, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say, okay? You know what I mean. The way they smell. Pansexual, which I am, fun fact, not limited in sexual choice with regard to biological sex, gender, or gender identity. So, what this means is, you don't care, if you're pansexual, you don't care if a person has a dick. You don't care if they have a vagina. You don't care if they have had sexual reassignment surgery, therefore they have a fake or artificial vagina or dick. You don't care. You also don't care what their gender is, and you don't care what their gender identity is. So, your gender is how you express yourself. Your gender identity is how you feel. So let's say you're a cisgender man, so you feel like a man, but you express yourself in a feminine way. There you go. Simple as that. So you just be like a feminine man. There you go. No big deal. Super simple. I don't know why people fucking freak out about this shit. Now I'm going to talk about intersex. Intersex is a general term used for a variety of conditions in which a person is born with a reproductive or sexual anatomy that doesn't seem to fit the typical definition of female or male. So what this means, I'm going to pop a picture up right here. What this means is essentially, intersex is not a definition of one thing. It's a definition of a situation that they cannot classify because it differs from person to person. So think of the spectrum that you see in front of you as it goes from dick to vagina. You can be anywhere in between. You could be a mixture of both. You can have a little bit of one and none of the other one. You know what I mean? It's just, it's a thing. So I would like to make this point in that a lot of people like to argue, well, okay, sure, there might be multiple genders, whatever, but there's only two sexes, and you can't argue that now, can ya? No, actually you can, because intersex is actually a very real and prevalent thing. There's actually a lot of cases where intersex babies were being born, and you know how when, baby's born, the doctor takes it away, they clean it, they do what they gotta do, make sure it's healthy, all that good shit. They would take the baby, they would see that something was wrong with their genitals, and they would identify, they would say, okay, this looks a little more like a dick than it does a vagina, so I'm just gonna cut the vagina parts off. Because that fucking makes sense. And they would never tell the parents. Like, isn't that messed up? And a lot of these people, they grow up and they later, find out what had happened to them, and they realize that they were assigned the wrong sex, rather than a transgender person being assigned the wrong gender. Which is way more fucked up in my opinion, because you can't undo what they did. Especially back in those days, they didn't know what they were doing. They were just hacking away. There wasn't any, nerve reconnecting. You know, it wasn't reconstruction, it was mutilation. So that's like really fucked up. You can fix what has been done by being, you know, by going through puberty as the wrong gender. You can't fix what's been done if your genitals have been mutilated, which is really fucked up. So yes, there is more than one sex. It is a spectrum, just like gender is. Nothing is black and white. Woo! Facts. Alright, and the last one that I have put in the category of sex is drag queen slash drag king. And the definition of that is a man who dresses up in women's clothes, typically for the purpose of entertainment, or vice versa for a drag king, which is a woman who wears men's clothes for purposes of entertainment. So the reason why I put this in the category of sex is instead of gender is because it has nothing to do with gender. A drag queen is a man who dresses like a woman as their profession. It isn't how they identify as far as their gender goes. They are a man. It's implied in the definition. They are a man who dresses as a woman to honor women as their profession. May they wear women's clothing when they're not performing? Sure, why not? That doesn't mean that they identify as a woman, though. Okay, so now that we have gotten the definitions that I've gathered of sex out of the way, I'm just going to sum sex up by saying that it is biological and it can be changed later in life or whatever. I don't think that your sex can change unwillingly unless you stumble upon some radioactive liquids of some kind, or get mutated or mutilated or something of that nature. For the most part, it's something you have to choose to do, I would think. Despite that, even if you get sexual reassignment surgery and hormone replacement, there are still elements of you that will still be that sex. But that doesn't mean that that is your gender. Obviously, they are two different things. So now we're going to do the definitions that I have gathered up that have to do with gender. First one is gender. The state of being male or female, typically used with reference to social and cultural differences rather than biological ones. So, social and cultural differences. That means the things you like, the things you do, the things that make you who you is, rather than biological ones, which is in the definition. It's stating that gender is different from sex. Gender is not sex. Gender is how you express yourself. Sex is what you biologically are. Gender expression. The way in which a person expresses their gender identity, typically through their appearance, dress, and behavior. This is just the way you express how you feel up here. Alright? Now, some people might get this a little twisted and think that if you identify as male, then you express male. This is not the case, because gender expression it's random. It's however you want to express your gender. Just because you identify as male doesn't mean you have to dress like G.I. Joe and fucking play football and, you know, do masculine orientated things. That's not the case. If being male for you means wearing makeup, or if being male for you means having 5 feet long hair, do it. That's your gender expression. That is how you express how you feel as the gender you identify as. The next definition I'm going to do is cisgender, denoting or relating to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender corresponds with their birth sex. Cisgender means, okay, if you're a cisgender female, that means you were born with a vagina and you fit into the box of female that society has created. That means you probably like pink shit. You probably like to wear dresses. You probably, you know, like to do your makeup. Shit like that. And then there is transgender, which is the opposite of cisgender. Transgender, denoting or relating to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender does not correspond with their birth sex. So, if you are a trans female, that means you were born with male genitalia. You're born with a dick, but you do not fit in the box of male that society has given you. You fit into the female box. Unlike most gender identities, transgender very much has to do with sex, because you are uncomfortable with the sex of your body. You want it to fit the box that you fit in. You know what I mean? For some trans people, they don't need that though. For some trans people, they don't need sexual reassignment surgery. They don't need facial feminization or masculinization, whatever. They're fine with that. They're fine with being one thing and expressing themselves as another. Everyone's different, obviously. And then there is agender. I'm just gonna use agender to kind of explain other things that are similar to that, like gender fluid, gender neutral, things like that. So agender, denoting or relating to a person who does not identify themselves as having a particular gender. So this means, let's say there's a kid that, is agender or is going to grow up and realize they're agender. As a kid, they're not going to go through the store and be like, no, I don't want a Barbie, that's a girl toy. Or, I don't want a car, that's a boy toy. They're just going to get whatever toy they want because they don't care, essentially. That's kind of a ridiculous way to put it, but it's, you don't assign gender to the things that you like. You like what you like, you wear the clothes you want to wear, you don't feel particularly masculine or particularly feminine, you're kind of just right in the middle, or you don't feel either. The last one that I have in the gender category is androgynous. The definition of androgynous is partly male and partly female in appearance of intermediate sex. The dated definition is having the physical characteristics of both sexes, hermaphrodite. So what they're insinuating in the definition of androgynous is that your physical characteristics are in between, which means you kind of look female and you kind of look male. This can also be applied to fashion, unisex clothing, or, things of that nature. And I'm going to end the gender definition category by saying that gender is mental, it is not physical, and the gender stereotypes that we live by and identify today are stemmed from whatever fuck asses created gender back in the day and decided to be like, this is female, this is male. It's based off of that, but it isn't limited to that. And gender is irrelevant to sex. You can be male and identify as female, vice versa. You can be male physically and identify as neither. Who'da thunk it? Alright, moving on. Alright, so, as my throat gets even worse and worse as I keep talking, the next topic is going to be, are there only two genders? Are there multiple genders? My answer is yes and no, because I'm going to pop up a picture of a gender spectrum. It starts, or I guess it could end, at male, and then it goes to female. And in the middle is neutral, or, neither, in between, whatever. So, yes, there are only two genders in the sense that any gender you identify as is either lacking of both, a combination of both, a little more of one, a little less of the other, you know what I mean? The whole, 100 and something gender thingies where your gender has to do with the phase of the moon and all this shit, or your gender, the joke about how I identify as a fucking airplane or whatever. That's not what gender is. Gender is based off of male and female. So, yes and no. Now I want to talk about a couple Facebook posts that I posted that, put it simply, pissed some people off. The first one was, I'm pretty sure I said something along the lines of, 2017 is the year where I want to see more men wearing makeup, wearing skirts, wearing dresses, just wearing whatever they want to wear despite, getting hate and shit like that. And a couple people's responses were, well, that makes them gay. No, it doesn't. You can be a gay man and wear skirts, dresses, or makeup, but that's irrelevant. You can be a straight man and wear skirts, dresses, makeup. It doesn't matter. It's just clothes, okay? It has nothing to do with anything. It's fashion, okay? It means nothing. And what's funny to me, and what's probably not as funny to some people, is that it was two men that were saying this. Why this is funny to me is that they're demeaning and oppressing their own gender. They're shitting on their own people, which I don't understand. 9 times out of 10, it's men who have a problem with it. Why the fuck do you care what another dude is wearing? What do you even care what another dude wants to put his dick in? You know what I mean? Like, what does it matter? It's completely irrelevant. These are all personal preferences. They are all based on how you feel personally, and it's called a spectrum because everyone is different. No two people are on the same exact level. One person who's into wearing makeup might draw the line at nail polish, and another person might be like, well, I draw the line at mascara. You know what I mean? It's irrelevant. Can we insert SpongeBob meme? Irrelevant. Second post was, if you don't support non-binary people, trans people, queer people, you know, if you don't support people, then get the fuck out of here. I don't want nothing to do with you. Because it's the most ridiculous thing. It's on the same level as being racist. Why are you hating someone because of this irrelevant detail about them that has nothing to do with you? Just because someone is black, or just because someone is gay, or just because someone wants to wear a skirt, or just because someone likes eyeliner, you know what I mean? It's irrelevant. It means nothing. So why would you hate someone based off those things? I hate people based off of who they hate and who they disagree with, okay? That is how you should hate people. You shouldn't hate someone because of how they dress. You shouldn't hate someone because of how they feel. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with you. The only reason why people feel this way to this day is because it's so ingrained in them. 9 times out of 10, it's kind of funny. If you're homophobic, then that probably means you're gay. So, in that case, I'm led to believe if you're transphobic, that probably means that you're uncomfortable with the fact that you have these feelings as well, that you maybe want to express yourself in a different way, but because of the way you were grown up, you don't think it's right, so you gotta shit on other people that are like that to make you feel better. I don't know. It's a mystery. We're getting there, though. We are getting there. We are getting closer to acceptance and all this shit. Like I was saying earlier, I think I said this in the video, this whole big gender topic, this was a thing back when gay people became a thing, even though gay people have existed since the dawn of time as well. It's not new, it's not a new concept, it's just being talked about more, and therefore it's being accepted more. So the more we talk about it, the more we explain things. That's why I'm making this video, because I want people to understand there are differences between these things. It's not all one thing. Just because you feel a certain way doesn't mean that another person doesn't feel different than you. Your opinion is not fact. And I would like to end this video with my gender expression. I kind of want to do the gender tag sometime. My gender expression and sexuality and shit, I identify as gender fluid, which essentially means one day I could be super masculine, one day I could be super feminine. For me, masculine means wearing jeans, generally wearing a bigger shirt to hide my boobs, because I don't like my boobs, when I'm a guy anyway. When I'm a guy, you know what I mean. But I'm feeling more like a guy, and I just kind of have a different, like, attitude when I'm feeling more masculine. I'm a little more assertive, I'm wittier, you know. I'm actually fucking dying. When I'm feeling more feminine, you know, I'll wear makeup, I'll do my hair pretty rather than just, like, pulling it all back or something and do a man bun. I'll wear makeup, I'll wear dresses, I'll, you know, the whole shebang. And most days, actually, I'm just kind of gender neutral. I don't really care either way. Like, today, this is a pretty neutral outfit for me. I'm wearing boxers. This is my pajamas, really, but I'm wearing boxers. Got this t-shirt on. I mean, I guess you could consider this a little more female because it's got pink and purple and shit on it. And another example of gender neutral for me, I guess, would be what's going on here. I'm wearing a beanie with my hair down. This look is kind of masculine to me, but the fact that the beanie is feminine is kind of like, what is it? You know what I mean? So my overall goal with my gender is honestly just to confuse people. Personally, I think it's funny. That's why my sex on Facebook is male, because most of the time the profile pictures are like hyper feminine, and I think it's funny because people are always like, so says you're a guy on Facebook, what's up with that? And I'm like, yeah, what's up with it? What the fuck does it matter? I don't care. You could call me female, you could call me male, I don't care. Personally, I don't take it too seriously. I don't think anyone could misgender me because I don't really see myself as a gender. I'm just kind of, you know, like I said, one day I'm a little more feminine, one day I'm a little more masculine. The technical term for me would probably be agender or gender neutral, but gender fluid makes more sense to me in the sense that it is fluid. I'm not the same every day. I'm a different person every day. Call it a fucking mental disorder, whatever. I don't care. I know how I feel. It's irrelevant. It doesn't fucking matter, okay? Sexuality-wise, I am pansexual, so the overall theme here is that I don't care about gender. I don't care about my gender. I don't care about the gender of the person I'm with. Obviously, when I say that, I don't mean that if I was dating a transgender person, for example, I'm not going to misgender them just because I don't care. I would still respect them and shit like that, but I don't care what your sex is. I don't care what your gender is. I don't care if you're a guy that only wears dresses. I don't care if you're a girl that identifies as a man. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I like people. If you're a cool person and I like you, I like you. End of story. It doesn't matter to me. It's irrelevant. So, on that note, I'd just like to say, to put it simply, this does not equal that. And by that, I mean, once again, a straight cisgender man wearing makeup does not equal gay. A woman wearing a flannel does not equal lesbian. You know what I mean? This does not equal that. It is fluid. It is random. It's whatever you want it to be. You know what I mean? For one person, you know, the color pink might be super masculine. For another person, the color pink might be super feminine. It's completely different, and it's based off of your opinion and how you feel. And I don't know why anyone takes this shit so seriously. To anyone watching this video, if you don't believe in multiple genders or gender expressions, that's fine. That probably means that you don't identify as a different gender. You're probably cisgender, and that's perfectly fine. But you can't demean the beliefs of other people because of how you feel. Hopefully people will slowly start to understand that. On that note, I'm dying, and I'm in Megazord Evolved Tana Manju fucking mode right now because of my voice. So let's talk about fucking story time. I got fucked with a toothbrush. Oh my god. But so yeah, comment, smash that motherfucking thumb down button. Subscribe. Tell me what to talk about. Tell me what to do. I will do the things for you. Yeah. Also, new Casey video. New Casey channel. Pretty soon. I'm gonna say within the month because I still have to edit the video. I still have to make the channel. I still have to do all this shit. But yeah. So yeah, new things are happening. Whoa! That wasn't fake, I promise. Okay, I'm gonna go now, and I'm gonna stop talking because I completely fucked my throat all the way back up. So this is nice. Alright, I'll see you guys.